What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Carpool Gaming. This is going to be our impressions video for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, coming out on PlayStation 5. Just wanted to start off by saying a huge thank you to PlayStation Canada for hooking me up with a review code to check the game out. Now, The Last of Us Part 2 is already my favorite out of the two. I love them both dearly, but Part 2 holds a really special place in my heart, and after playing the original years ago, it really left a massive lasting impression on me. So being able to check out the remaster of Part 2 is incredibly special for me. I spent about 4 hours with the campaign, and so far I have to say everything looks great. I don't remember the original looking this good. Don't get me wrong, it looked fantastic, but coming up on your horse to seeing Jackson splayed out in front of you, so many of those moments in the snow, it just looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. It had me like literally just putting my controller down for a second just to take in the sights. It looks really good. It can go up to native 4K in fidelity mode, so that means you're down to your 30 frames per second. 1440 upscale to 4K in its performance mode, which is where I've spent the majority of my time playing at that 60 frames per second. And there's also an unlocked frame rate mode if your TV supports it for VRR. It looks fantastic. The facial animations, the way that the characters move, the way that the characters animate, all just looks so good. I forgot just how much fun the combat is in Part 2. It just completely holds up. For anyone who's not yet experienced Part 2, I'm genuinely jealous because it looks and feels great. The DualSense functionality that they've added is also really good. The trigger functionality feels great. It just makes every weapon feel different. It gives each one a punch. It's really well done. I've spent the majority of my time with No Return. That roguelike mode is just so much fun. You basically load in, it'll start you off with Ellie and Abby, and each character feels different. They have different weapons, they have different traits and different abilities, and then you're left to try and get through a 6-level run ending with a boss encounter. There's different modes like Assault, where you're essentially just taking out waves of enemies. There's Hunted, where you're trying to outlast and outlive an onslaught of enemies coming at you. There's Control, where you're trying to get in and take over a safe that's being guarded by a number of enemies within a certain time limit. It'll lock if you don't get there in time. And the last mode is Holdout, where it really took me back to the escort missions of old, where you're stuck trying to protect another character or one of your companions for a certain amount of time. I really liked every mode except for Holdout. I found the companion AI to be all over the place. Like, you'd expect them to be following you kind of close behind you, and you turn around and they're just in some random corner trying to fend themselves off but from all the enemies attacking them. Meanwhile, like, you're desperately trying to survive and also get at them. I found that one to be pretty frustrating, and I actively avoided it every time it would come up in one of my runs. But the other three are fantastic. Like, Assault is probably my favorite, where you're just fighting through waves of enemies, and it's like you're trying to prep and plan and trying to set up ambushes and trying to decide, are you going to use a character like Manny, who's basically a tank, and just try and gun through them in like as quickly as possible, or are you going to go with a character like Lev and be sneaky and use your bow to take them out before they really realize where you are? No Return is a ton of fun. It feels so good. It took me about 6 to 8 hours to finish it, and I'm excited to go back in and kind of keep playing around with it and trying different character modes and trying different characters and trying different variations on what I can do. It's just a ton of fun. No Return is a blast, and honestly worth the $10 upgrade for players that already own this game just for themselves. There's some other stuff as well. The developer commentary is cool and it's insightful. The guitar mode is really awesome and really well done. I just don't really know how much I'm personally going to be engaging with it moving forward. It was cool to play around with for a few minutes, and I'm excited to see what the online community does with it, because I'm sure there's going to be some incredible people making incredible music with that thing. It's just not exactly for me. And the lost levels are cool to pop in and take a look around and see kind of what they had envisioned and what they were planning for it. But anybody who has not yet played The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, this is an easy sell. If you've not played the original game, you've checked out Part 1, you've been waiting for that PS5 version, this is it. Buy it, play it. This game is fantastic. No Return is an awesome way to keep playing it afterwards. I really cannot stop thinking about it. The combat is just so satisfying. For anybody who owns it and is looking for another playthrough, again, $10 is what it's going to cost you to get in. If you already own the base game, you can transfer your save over, pop all of your trophies, and then kind of go from there. But I really, really love No Return. I think this is a great remaster. It's one of those ones where, did we need it this soon? I'm not exactly sure, but if you haven't played it, it's an easy recommend. If you do own it and you're looking to just play more of it, No Return is great and I think worth the $10. So yeah, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is great. I'm really enjoying my time with the story. Coming back to this world is fantastic. No Return is great. Let me know, are you going to be picking it up? Is this a day one for you? Hit us up in the comments below. Make sure you head over and check out all of the fantastic things on the channel, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.